Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Vlog. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I've got these amazing products. These are foil paper packs by our friends at Hi-yah, and they are amazing. They have all this wonderful color and texture, and you can do all these great things with them. Let me show you. This is the Emerald Star foiled paper pack, and this one is just all the same color. These are great for like making leaves and things, but you get 12 sheets and they're 6 inches wide by 12 inches long, okay? And then this one is the pastel variety pack. This one also has a combination of the foil and glossy sheets in it, and it's got purple and sort of this pretty teal color and a green. So those are the star foil, and then you've got the glossy foil in the same colors, okay? Really, really beautiful. All right, and then this last one is the floral variety pack, and this one has amazing like oranges, sort of a deep purple and a hot pink in that star pattern, and then you've got the same colors in the glossy. There we go, if I can get them all out. There we go. See all those beautiful colors, so rich. So let me show you right off the bat here what my friend Debbie made. Oh, I forgot. Jump right in. We also used these great background cutting dies from Moonstone Cutting Dies. These are from Hunky Dory Crafts. And then also these fantastic floral and leaf cutting dies. So that's the materials that we use. Let me show you, bring Debbie's card back on. Okay, so for this one, Debbie used this one right here. She used the floral paper pack, the floral foil pack rather. And she also used for her background this really cool starburst cutting die. Okay, and as you can see, when you open it, it's got this great cutaway there for the starburst. And then for the center, she used the floral fancy flower dies, and then she just layered those, which I think is so beautiful. She even used, oh, I forgot to grab it, but it's from hot off the press. She used an embossing folder, and it's the diamond dot embossing folder from hot off the press. And so she even put strips. She cut the foil into strips and then put it in the embossing folder, so it has this great texture. Now on the back of the foil papers, the glossy, they're gold. See, so you get this wonderful gold paper. Now that's just on the back of the glossy. The diamond is just diamond on both sides. Okay, so you really get an extra color with that gold in there, and that's what Debbie used here. And then when she opened the inside up, she took the little strips for when she cut another one from the hot pink, and she put the strips back in there for that starburst. Really beautiful. There's another one that she did, gorgeous. This one uses the diamond lattice. Okay, see the back of that. That's really beautiful. She cut that out of the gold, once again the back side, and made all of these amazing flowers. And you see the foil actually holds its shape, okay? So you can just bend and twist those flowers. And it's great to use these shaping tools. They come in a set of 3. And these are called flower forming ball tools, and they're by Crafter's Companion. Look how enormous these get. They're just like not a regular stylus. They have this really go from like a sort of a what would be a large size on a normal ball tool to these extra large. So those are great for forming these flowers. And right here she used some leaves. Here's the leaves dies again in the back. And I love how she wove those amongst the lattice before gluing the lattice down. Okay? And then she also used a cutting die here. This is the You Are the Best cutting die from Creative Expressions. And she cut that out of the purple. Really gorgeous, really beautiful. So we're actually going to show you how to use some of these today and do a little demo for you. Here we go. So I used, for the card that I'm going to be making with you today, I used these 4 dies, okay? So for the first one, for the hexagon set, I actually used the 3 largest hexagons that are in the back here in the package, okay? So what I did was, the first thing I wanted to do is for my blank card, I wanted to use the hexagon not as a die but as a pattern. So I just placed that down on my card. And the reason I wanted to use it as a pattern, because if I actually cut this from my card, then I would actually cut the fold. So I wanted to just utilize the fold so that when I cut this out, here we go, I've got a hexagon shaped card with the fold intact. All right, so then I also thought about this great diamond lattice, and I thought, okay, well, Debbie already used that as a cutting die. I wonder if I could use it in another way with this foil. So what I did was I went ahead and cut it from some cardstock, just pretty lightweight stuff, and then I took and I die cut the 3rd from the largest hexagon, and then I just placed the hexagon over like this, and then I just went ahead and I ran this through my die cutting machine, through the plates, so that it actually did some embossing. Okay, so you can see it's got that great pattern on there. So you could use this as a cutting die tool or an embossing tool when you're using the foil. The foil just takes every little impression, and it's wonderful to shape, but it also takes these fabulous impressions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build a card with you guys. I'm going to get my glue going here. All right, so one other thing I should mention, I want to make my card into an easel card. So what I did was I went ahead and I just folded the top flap in half. So right here, I just took that top edge, went to the center fold, and you could use a scoring tool for this if you like, but I thought it was just easy enough to use my fingernail there. Okay, so I went ahead and I took my embossed foil, and then I also used the next 2 sizes here. So that's the 2nd size hexagon, and then again the large size hexagon. And we're going to glue that to the card front, but we're only going to glue it to the bottom half. And those of you who are familiar with doing easel cards know why. And that's because we want it to go. We want the top portion to stand up on its own. Go. Right, and then on the inside of the card, there we go. I wanted to make this portion with the greeting on the inside have some foam tape in between those 2 layers. And that's why, so when I open my card, it's going to stand up like that, but I need something on the inside to prop it open with. So I'm going to put a little glue here, center that, so that when my card is finished and I'm done decorating, it'll stand up just like this. Okay, so now that we've got everything in place there, let's take a look at these flowers. So using, okay, I'm done with those. So I also wanted to do something a little different with my flowers. Here we go. These flowers are actually using the foil, using the lavender, but I glued it on some craft foam, some extra thin craft foam. This is from Heartfelt Creations. It's called Art Foam Paper. It's thinner than regular craft foam that you might buy at the craft store. So what I did was took some of my foam, and then I just took about 1/2 of a sheet. And there is sort of a wrong and right side on the star pattern, I should point out. So on one side, the stars are very crisp. And then on the other side, you've also got the star pattern, but they're a little more, I don't know, blurry, okay? Both sides are great to use, but I used it with the sharper side up. What I did was just put some of this Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue on my craft foam, and then you want to spread this into a really thin layer. You could use a paintbrush to do this. That would be the professional thing to do, but I'm just going to use my finger. And that way I can just sort of, I don't know, feel that I have got a good coating and that all of the edges are taken care of, and I can get a nice thin spread on my glue. All right, I should go out a little bit farther. I didn't measure my paper correctly. There we go. All right, so you want to make sure that there's a nice amount of coverage with this glue. The glue dries very fast, so you don't want to delay. You want to get that foil paper right on there. All right, and make sure that you've got a nice bond there. And then I actually let this glue dry overnight, okay? So we're going to be doing some die cutting with that, and you don't want to just wait a small amount of time and then die cut into that with your shapes from your flowers and then have glue ooze up, okay? So what I did is I went ahead, this is my sheets that I used, and I just die cut those the next day. So plan ahead a little bit on that. All right, so we've got all my flowers here. Okay, so as you can see, on the back, it's got the foam. And what I did is I just took a little extra piece of foam. You could also use a mouse pad, or you could use a thicker pad, but I had some foam right here. And then I took, this is the medium stylus that's in the set of all of these tools. And then what I did is I went ahead and I just did a little bit of curving on each one of the petals. All right, so they're all curved forward. And then I did something that's kind of counterintuitive, really. I wanted to bend them back. So I bent them back, just the tip of each petal. And really, if you've got them all already cut, then it goes really, really fast. So you just do all your embossing at once, and then all of your bending, and then all of your gluing, and it goes really quickly. So this is just going to be a 2-layer flower. The rest of these are all 3 layers. And then you just take the center ball and you push down. If you can see, when you push down, everything kind of lifts up. All right, and then give that a good push. And then just you're going to set that aside and let it dry. On the center of each one, this is jellyfish sparklets. They kind of have a nice purpley look, and then they've also got on them some of these little clear ones. And they're a larger one, like a dome. And I liked those because they really stand out. I'm going to put that one right there. I have an extra one. I'll just set that aside. All right, so our flowers are all done. Now let's take a look at the leaves. So we've got these wonderful, lovely leaves cutting dies. And on this one, you can see, on these leaves, I've actually tinted them a little bit. Okay, and then I've also got these little pieces. So I wanted to add, I used this leaf down here, which can't quite see, and then this one right here. And then from the reverse side of the glossy foil, I used the gold. So on one side was the blue, and I've got the gold on the other. I did these little berries that are right up here. All right, and so now what I'm going to do is use my teal blue StazOn ink pad. I'm just going to use my blender brush. All right, and you're just going to do a little bit of inking on the edge of the leaves. Just like that. Like that. And what that does is just giving a little bit of additional color, a little depth. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces together. Our card is dry here from all the pieces being assembled. So now we're just going to glue all these wonderful flowers on here. And I'm going to go for a shape where everything's kind of at a crescent on this side of the card. And what I want to do is not have the same colors right next to each other. So I'm alternating the teal and the lavender colors. And then over here, I also die cut a greeting here. Here we go. Woo! From gold, if I can get it the right direction. This is the little thinking of you from Creative Expressions, and I love it that it's so delicate. And then on the inside, I use this really big chunky one, also from Creative Expressions, the Happy Birthday. All right, so I'm going to actually, before I get too much farther in my assembly, I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this because I want to make sure I have room for my greeting and don't get carried away with my flowers. What I should have used for this greeting is sticky specks, because you don't have to use all these little dots of glue for that. So if you've got those at home, that would be a great product to use for your greeting. All right, there we go. So now we're going to finish putting our little flowers on here. All right, so now for our leaves, I forgot to mention we want to do a little bit of molding for those as well. I'm back to my craft foam, and I'm back to one of my larger ball tools, and I'm just doing a little circular motion on each one, and that gives it a nice little curve, nice little dome. And the last one there. And then on these guys too, I want to use the smaller one. And I'm just doing a little bit of a back and forth rub on each one of these little petals. And I don't need to do the bottom petals because those are going to get tucked behind the flowers anyway. So we'll save ourselves a little bit of time. Got some glue stuck on here. There we go. All right, and then on these little berries, the gold berries, I'm just going to leave those. All right, so let's get these leaves in here. I like to have my leaves go in different directions so they're not all facing the same direction. It's a little more natural. Okay. And then these two, I'm going to have these sort of extending off the top behind this big flower, just like this. And like that. All right, now we just got our little gold pieces, which just bring in a third color, which I love. And I gotta say, it's just fun creating all these little elements. And they all come together, and they're all coordinated because I've kept my color palette varied, but there is pattern here. I've used really just 3 basic colors. Go, and let's see, where can we put this last one? How about right there? All right, so there we go. There's our finished card. I'm not going to prop it up in an easel at this point because it needs to dry, but you can take a look at that in the vlog picture when we're done. So we've got a great money saver on all these tools, you guys, so make sure you check that out. The link for that is on the vlog page. It's underlined and in bold, and it's under Money Saver. And if you're watching us on YouTube, the link is in the description below. And there's also a link to paperwishes.com, which will take you back to more great products and lots of videos and tutorials. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.